Hi there. Welcome to the Financial Advantage podcast, powered by the Wells Funding Group. My name is Dennis Wells. I am super excited today to have Tiffany Vondran with us. Tiffany is a professional realtor out of Fulton Grace in Chicago. In addition to her work as a realtor, she has also added the designation of a certified divorce real estate expert to take care of her clients at an even higher level. So I'm excited for our time together here today, Tiffany. Thank you so much for being a part of the podcast.
Thank you for having me, Dennis. I'm really excited.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to learn more about the certified divorce real estate expert. Before we get there, though, how did you get started in real estate in general?
So I went to school for paralegal studies and I worked for a real estate attorney doing everything from contract to close. And I realized it was just changing a lot of forms, a lot of paperwork, and didn't know if I really enjoyed it, but went on and got my license. So I took the schooling to get the real estate license. 2008, the firm that I was at downsized and I got let go. And I was like, well, I just got my real estate license. I'm going to go into real estate. It was like perfect timing, January 2008.
Wow, wow. So you've been through the storms and weathered everything okay.
I have, yeah. 16 years. Gosh, I can't believe it's been that long.
I know, right? And we don't get any older. Just the time goes by. That's the crazy thing about it.
Look exactly the same as I did in 2000.
Love it, love it. So how did you become a certified divorce real estate expert?
So, a family law attorney was looking for a neutral realtor. She had a divorce case where the couple didn't want to use their realtor that they bought the home with, just because they felt like maybe it'd be a conflict of interest. So she was looking for a different realtor online, found me based on my reviews, my 5-star reviews, and reached out and asked if I'd be interested in helping. And so I was written on into the court order to be on this case. And I just realized that there was the community just needed more real estate professionals. I realized that there was only, at the time, there were only 3 other certified divorce real estate experts in Chicago of all the thousands of realtors that are out there. And so I just felt like it was a way to set myself apart by really focusing and helping this community.
Okay, great. So, I mean, obviously, any realtor can sell any house as long as you're licensed in the state where the property is. But what difference does having the designation as a certified divorce real estate expert have when you're in that situation and dealing with people going through divorce and needing to sell their house?
Yeah, so I went through a schooling. It was a 2-month program, and there was a different topic every week: how to avoid bias, how to remain neutral, the divorce listing process, just because the process is very different than a traditional listing. And divorce lending was another section. And to pass the course, there was a written portion, and then there was also a portion where we had to testify on the stand with an attorney cross-examining us. And so yes, I'm able to testify in any of my cases if I need to. But in addition to that, I also have another set of code of ethics that's beyond my realtor code of ethics. So when I have a divorce listing, I'm a neutral. I'm just there to help the clients maximize the amount of money they make on the home and to mitigate the conflict and sell for as most money as possible, least amount of time. So that way the clients can move on.
Yeah, sounds like that by adopting this, you've embraced a number of safeguards to help protect your clients in the midst of a very vulnerable situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Well, very cool. And so what are some situations that people might be in where they might want to reach out to a certified divorce real estate expert?
Anyone that's going through a divorce that needs help wondering what to do with the asset. I actually had somebody reach out recently who said that she's about to start the divorce process. She thinks she's about to be served papers, and she was like, what do I do? I don't want to be homeless. And so I was just kind of guiding her and letting her know that most attorneys offer a complimentary consultation, same thing with realtors. So I said to feel free to reach out to an attorney to get guidance, but she's not, just going to be out on the street. It's a process and it takes time. And then when it comes to the real estate, then I would walk through it and determine the value and proceed from there. And it's not like, oh, they're still on title, so they still own the home. So it's not like you're just going to be kicked out on the street or anything like that. So anybody that
Right.
needs help and guidance.
Okay. And that's super important, I think, too, because all of us, right? It's not our fault. We just don't know what we don't know. So you have someone like that is, oh my gosh, I'm going to get served and now I'm going to be kicked out of my house. And it's helpful to have someone who, understands real estate, understands how that relates with the law and the divorce background, to be able to give, not only clarity, but hope and reassurance in a situation like that.
Mm-hmm. And then the family law attorneys too, in most situations, from what I understand, is that they each pick 3 realtors. So the attorneys could interview me to put me on the listing to help the clients with the sale.
Okay. So, and that's good too. So then, you're getting a chance to talk with the clients, the divorcing couple, and make sure that that it's a good match, and I'm sure it gives them a chance to say yes or no, but also for you to say yes or no, because it may be a situation that is not going to be conducive to where you feel like things ought to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Now, how many divorce attorneys are you currently working with? And I know we were talking about different things that you're doing to, get your message out there to more and more people.
Yeah, I've started with my networking groups that I'm in, and several of them have family law attorneys. So I've just been staying in touch with them and letting them know anytime they have a potential property. Sometimes attorneys have told me that they'll just use Zillow to determine the value. And I'm like, it's, just automated, like at least reach out to me, make sure your clients are getting a fair value on their property. Whether that's me providing a market analysis, or an appraiser, coming out as well to see the value of the home. So yeah, and then through my family law attorneys, I'm able to offer CLE credits as well. My program the program I'm in, the Alumni Institute, they have a monthly topic, and every month is different. And then the attorneys that join there, they get free CLE credit.
Okay.
So we had one about, we had a lender come in one time and talk about buyouts. And then one was about like nesting, like where the children stay in the home and then the parents trade off. So just more education for our family law attorneys, and then they get credit for it.
Okay. Yeah, because like a lot of professionals, they need to do continuing education on a yearly basis, and so that's something that you provide, and allows them to hopefully get a little bit better insight into what goes on the real estate side in a situation like that. Brings me to another question. So what are some things that you have seen that are challenges when you're dealing with the legal system that tends to have a cookie cutter approach to everything, and then the real estate world where the way things really work? Have there been any challenges or difficulties in reconciling what the judicial part wants as opposed to what the real estate market can handle?
You mean like with the divorce listing, like some of the challenges?
Yes.
So one that I had, had some domestic violence, and it was a very challenging process. And so I was glad that I had this training to be able to navigate that and help maximize their value. So, but other than that, I mean, sometimes you'll see where like one person won't sign the listing agreement, so they have to go to court and get a court order to get the listing agreement signed, and then certain timeline of when it needs to be on the market. Sometimes one of the spouses that's living in the home might jeopardize the showing. So there's, I have special training on how to navigate all of that to make it go as smooth as possible.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that, but I would imagine there would be several things that, if a spouse is staying in the house and they don't really want to leave, that they could do to make it more challenging on the realtor to get the house shown and sold. So,
because it could like jeopardize the sale, and then it could, jeopardize how much money both parties end up with. Or, I had one where they had stopped making the payments, and I think, I don't know why they had stopped making the payments, but that can affect your future eligibility of what you can qualify for. And I think you can speak to that too from once they sell and the couple, they each need to buy something, how something like that can affect their credit.
Exactly. The reason why I got the certified divorce lending professional designation and all of that was because I had real life experience with divorcing couples who had real needs. One wanted to keep the house, one needed the money, from the house, from the equity, or his part of the equity to put down in his next house. And the way that everything, by the time it got to me, it had already gone through the court. And by the time it got to me, it was like trying to put together a jigsaw puzzle with missing pieces, because there was no loan program that would work because they were deficient in one thing on each different one. And where I was like, if I could have gotten into the process in the beginning, we could have arranged it so that it would have worked. I understand where the court wants to settle everything and divide everything as quickly as possible. But, divorces aren't something that usually happen in days or two. They usually take, weeks, months. And in that time, we can get things in place to, make both parties whole as best you can at the end of the process. Because no one's going to be taken care of being homeless because they didn't make their payments. Nobody can get a house or whatever, so yeah, that's some of the challenges are making that interface between the legal system and the lending world and the actual real estate world.
Yeah, and there's even options too of like short-term housing too. So if that's something that we need to look into, again, it's like you don't know until you talk to the experts, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and you don't know what you don't know. And a lot of times people are assuming, one thing, and it turns out to be, something different. I know we both have had the opportunity to meet with a mediator, who specializes in, doing mediation instead of litigation when it comes to a divorce, which, I'm sure a lot of people don't realize that there is even that option, but that mediation, makes it possible for everybody to sit down together and, determine the best possible outcome, which then also, gives someone like you or someone like me an opportunity to, help guide them through the process and, make the transition, as smooth and as painless as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, so it was, and thank you for the introduction actually to Matt, because it's been a very productive, couple of conversations that we've had, and, definitely think that would be something that along the line, both of us and him should be able to help a lot of people for sure.
Yeah, he's great.
Awesome. So, shifting a little bit, tell me about some of the things that you do to be involved in your community.
I do a toy drive every year during the holidays. My niece had leukemia in 2019. She was diagnosed and she was at the hospital for about 6 weeks on life support because she had a tumor on her chest. So I spent a lot of time at Homer Children's Hospital in Hyde Park in Chicago, seeing my niece. And so just being there all the time, seeing all the sick kids, I realized that I just wanted to give back to them. So that year I started a toy drive, and this year will be my 6th year of doing it. And the last couple of years, we've collected over 100 toys. So it's been amazing.
That is awesome. And, being able to provide some happiness to people that are in a challenging situation, really shows your heart for sure.
Yeah, and so many people are just really, I do a letter to my mailing list. I have about 300 past clients on my mailer. And so I push out a letter kind of talking about the story, and just so many people are just wanting to contribute and help out. And I think it's too about my personal story. So, people are just really willing to help out, which is great.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a great way to, to take something that obviously is a very dark and hard time and turn it around to not only be a blessing for other kids that are maybe in that situation, but everyone who gives gets a blessing from being a part of that, and knowing that in some way they're helping others that are going through a challenging time.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, which is again, getting back to the certified divorce real estate expert. It's having empathy and understanding that this is a difficult time, but because of your willingness to go above and beyond with your training, now you're able to go above and beyond with your advice, and with the kind of service you can provide to your clients.
Yeah, helping out in a time of need, for sure.
Yes, for sure. Cool. So if there was someone that was looking to get into real estate as a profession, what kind of advice would you give to a newer agent?
I would say join a team as soon as possible. So when I first got licensed, I was on my own for about 3 years, and then I joined a team. And I think if I could do things over, I would join a team right away just to get that guidance and support and knowledge from an expert, somebody that's been in the
Mm-hmm.
business for a while, just to really, learn things as quick as possible. And I'm actually a mentor here at Fulton Grace for new agents. And so I have a new mentee, and it's been great, like just, teaching her everything. And she's been helping me with, showings and listings, but she's also learning so much.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's like like your kids. You're seeing them grow and learn new skills and be able to do things for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so I know that we've both done coaching in the past. What role does coaching have in being a successful agent like yourself?
I would say definitely look into coaching. I think, I mean, the coaching helps me increase my volume, triple my business just by having the systems and the knowledge. And even though like I was on a team that was a top producing realtor, like I still didn't know some of the things that I knew in coaching, about how to track, set goals and track everything. Like before, I had no idea how many leads I was getting every month, what my conversion rate was. I didn't have systems and processes and all this tracking, and it really just changed. So made me a better agent.
Yeah, yeah, very good. And I've found in those in those programs there's a great community too. And so you have other people that you can text, call, lean on, and get advice from. So it makes it nice.
And you meet great people like you.
Well, thank you. And you as well. Yeah, it was it's been a good time. Probably the one of the best things I got out of that coaching experience was getting connected. So for sure.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, thank you so much for your time here today. I always want to give people an opportunity to know how to get a hold of you. So obviously you help anybody with their real estate needs, but if if you think that you might need a certified divorce real estate expert, whether you are in a divorce or thinking about a divorce, or if you are, a mediator or a family law attorney, how would they get a hold of you?
Sure. You can call me. Again, Tiffany Vondran, real estate broker with Fulton Grace. Phone number 773-459-8479. Or you can find me. We didn't cover this, but I competed in the World Pool Championship in Vegas. So my website is www.poolsharkbroker.com. And that's how you can find me on Facebook and on Instagram as well. And yeah.
Well, we're going to have to do another podcast and talk about the world of pool hustling.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but we don't want to like expose you on that too much, because you might still need to, take somebody's money every once in a while. No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. It's all strategy. It's just like real estate.
That's cool. That's cool. Very good. Well, again, Tiffany, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. Everyone, thank you for listening to The Financial Advantage or watching it on YouTube. We're powered by the Wells Funding Group. You can reach us at www.wellsfundinggroup.com, or the team and I can be reached at 219-230-8400. Thank you so much, Tiffany. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.